All right, man. Torch it's up. Oh man, how y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. It's so much information, so much stuff to talk about. I'm trying to select what I want to talk about, cause it's a lot. It's a lot to talk about. Um, and yeah, man. So I found this one video very interesting. So I want to put this one out ASAP. It's the 12-year Cold War between Kendrick and Drake. Uh, Not Kendrick and Drake. I'm sorry, Kendrick and Cole. And I think that I did another video earlier, and that should be coming out later. Posting it, talking about uh, that battle is gonna happen. That battle is gonna happen, and yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. So this is the history of it. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into this. Before we get into that, I gotta get a legendary spill, baby. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. 1,300 subscribers, over 18,000. I'm pushing at 25, baby. And yes, I am the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you are from. Yeah, man. If you hear some noise in the backgrounds, because I'm in a city where there's a lot of traffic, so excuse the noise. You might not hear it though. Yeah, man. So let's get it, man. This should be a goodie. Let's go. All right, this comes courtesy of Geek About It. You already know what it is. J. Cole and Kendrick, the 12 years silent war. Oh man, it's gonna be a goodie. So let's get it.
He wanted to make a classic debut album. J. Cole came into the rap game with big dreams. He wanted to make a classic debut album and envisioned winning Best New Artist at the Grammys, but things didn't go the way he had hoped. His start in the mainstream was rough. Despite being signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation, Cole couldn't get a release date for his album without delivering a radio single.
We were just in the studio trying to make hits. No lie, I was probably the most depressed he's ever been,
Yo, J. Cole, where's the single? That's what the label's saying to me.
For 2 years, he struggled to make that one hit. During this,
I think a lot of rappers, and this is why I gotta respect about J. Cole. J. Cole, in my opinion, has grown to become a good artist. Not to say he wasn't a good artist when he first started. He was actually pretty good, but I think that he was just a rapper when he first started. That just knew how to rap really well. I don't think he was a good song maker when he first started. He just was a good rapper. And I believe that J. Cole never thought that he was going to get this big. I thought that he was just going to, I think that J. Cole thought he was just going to be where he was at. Just rapping and making a little bit of money here and there.
time, Jay-Z would ask Drake to give him a hit, an embarrassing moment that showed how much Cole was struggling.
I don't have a single, and the next 6 months of my life was like literally hell. And I had been praying for this record, I promise you.
Eventually, he released Workout, a track that did gain attention, but disappointed many of his core fans and people who believed in him.
So I get a release date and we dropped the single. It was the worst response on any song I've ever. You gotta understand that, like, to my fan base, it's like, yo, that's the chosen one.
The backlash made him doubt himself deeply. He never wanted to chase numbers, but instead he found himself compromising, something he'd always sworn against. Then, almost out of nowhere, Kendrick Lamar arrived with his debut. He delivered exactly what Cole was trying to achieve, a debut album that balanced artistry and mainstream success. Good Kid, Mad City wasn't just a success, it was immediately hailed as a classic.
A lot of people say it's an instant classic.
That's a fact. I ain't going to lie to y'all. Good Kid, Mad City, 100%. When I first heard it, my boy told me about it. He was like, yo, bro, you need to listen to the album. Like, I was avoiding it because I was a big Crip fan, I ain't gonna lie. And he told me about it, and it was all up from there. It was all up. I said, man, I was taken aback. I said, God damn. It was crazy.
You know, I love that. But I want that longevity. You know, I don't want you to be saying it because it's, you know, I'm hot right now. I definitely feel like it's definitely classic worthy. I always said that it just gotta have them years behind it. Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it seemed like Kendrick did it effortlessly, but that wasn't true. Behind the scenes, Kendrick was facing similar struggles. Top Dawg wouldn't let him drop the album without hits either. Instead of compromising, he worked even harder until he found a way to hit both targets. But before he figured it out, he too.
That's crazy. That's Andre 3000 right there. That's Andre 3000, I believe. I believe that's Andre 3000. I believe that's him. I believe that's Andre 3000. Some people might disagree, but I think that's Andre. Yeah, man. I think that Kendrick Lamar worked his ass off to get to where he needed to be.
Had multiple failed attempts at making the club record.
What's your wackest song?
It's called Bitch, I'm in the Club.
Just like Cole spending 2 years crafting his debut, Kendrick made multiple versions of Good Kid, Mad City before it clicked. It wasn't easy, but he figured it out. He found the balance and he nailed it to the point it seemed effortless. For J. Cole, watching Kendrick succeed where he had stumbled had to be painful. He wanted to be seen as one of the new greats, but when his debut dropped, it was met with mixed reviews. His first album wasn't the album he wanted to make.
The first album comes out and it does tremendously well commercially, but the reception critically and on the internet is still sort of mixed.
I mean, Friday Night Lights wasn't that bad, but Born Sinner is where I think he shined.
Part of it was the fact that we knew that album wasn't exactly what we wanted. Born Sinner was dark because of that. You know what I mean? Like, he was going through a dark time where he was feeling like he still had to prove himself.
A mind state that I never had to deal with before, which is like fighting all these negative thoughts. That's the dark place I'm talking about. Like, self-confidence kind of shattered, you know what I mean? And like trying to fight against that.
And then comes Kendrick, seemingly unbothered by the system.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all dudes are so soft, bro. Listen, man, I understand, but I gotta admit it. Some of y'all just so soft, bro. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I listen. When I was growing up, in my own squad, we battled each other. If you wasn't good, they got you out of here. They made you not want to rap. And my squad made you not want to rap. I guess that's the reason why we ain't nowhere around right now. But still, we didn't play no games with each other. We came at each other's necks. And a lot of the dudes, like, that's why I got all of my battle skills from my team. You know what I'm saying? It was like 21 of us. And we was going crazy on each other. I'm talking like diss tracks after diss tracks. We did our thing. And we still kept it like we was friends though. It wasn't like we was mad at each other. But we did our thing, man. I'm telling you. But y'all dudes are soft, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Thriving without compromise. In multiple interviews, Cole said he felt like he was the artist who took the hits so that others could avoid compromise. He believed he paved the way for people like Kendrick.
Now it's easy for niggas. As long as you come with good music, you can beat Kendrick Lamar. You don't gotta put out your song with Lady Gaga, whatever it is. A label not gonna tell you, hey, but you need a single. No, man. Just develop your fan base and put out a great album. I ain't had a luxury, so I could have been crushed.
The truth is, everyone faced the same obstacles.
I gotta totally disagree with you on that one, J. Cole. Like, you basically saying because you failed or you didn't get the reception that you deserve, everybody else get a chance to actually blow up because of it. No, bro, that is some bullshit, bro. I'm sorry. That's crazy for you to say, bro. That really is.
Difference was execution. It wasn't that Cole opened the door and showed Kendrick how to do it. They were in the same predicament, and Kendrick just happened to execute at a much higher level. In a 2013 interview, he admitted that his team was trying to get him to wear clothes that he hated, and he was trying to adjust to looking like a star. Then there was that funny story about his stylist putting him in a Versace jersey for a red carpet, only to find other people wearing the exact same outfit, all the way down to the shoes. Kendrick, on the other hand, never bent. He was focused only on the music, and that authenticity paid off. Both of them were equally criticized for not looking like stars and were incentivized to play the game. One chose to try to play the game and the other didn't.
Yeah, he said I look like a star.
I see you don't look like a star.
You had a problem because you had on corduroys.
He just didn't look like a star, but I never said he was whack. He's dumb nice.
You know, everybody got to be their own individual.
By 2013, Kendrick was crowned MTV's hottest MC.
I understand that, man. I understand that. I'm telling you. I'm not one of those type of guys that dress all crazy. I don't. I like simple stuff, but I don't spend too much money on clothes, and I ain't gonna lie. Clothes is just clothes. I ain't gonna lie. As long as you take care of them, you good. It's just fabric. I don't spend too much money on clothes, like most people out here do.
In the game, and while he was honored, others weren't as thrilled.
And you, Kendrick Lamar, are the hottest MC in the game. Man, how you feel, man?
Feel good.
You feel good right now?
Salute.
What young cat is influencing just hip-hop culture and fashion culture at the same time? Look how young I am.
They left you off the list.
This is some bullshit. I don't know, bro. I don't really give a fuck. But it's, you know, it is what it is. You know.
I honestly think that's one of J. Cole's biggest problems too. Is he pretends to not care, but he really does. You know? I definitely think he does that. He does that a lot. He pretends to not care, and we all know he cares. We all know J. Cole is soft. We know. We all know. Excuse me, I don't know who that was calling. I keep getting these weird number calls. So let's keep going.
You know what it is? We shouldn't even talk about this anymore.
A$AP Rocky, Drake, and J. Cole all took issue with it. Cole initially brushed it off with "I don't really care," but his actions told a different story. Drake responded with 5 a.m. in Toronto. Then he and J. Cole dropped the Jodeci freestyle, where both of them took subtle jabs at Kendrick. I can't help but think of how this was the original first-person shooter and the reason Kendrick made Control. Because not many of...
I agree. I remember that track. I'm gonna see if I can actually react to that track. I don't know if it's gonna get copyrighted, but I remember that track. And they definitely did take a couple of shots at him. And that probably was, I don't know if that's what that is the reason why Control came about, but I mean, maybe he has some insight more than me on that. I definitely think Control was more of putting everybody on notice, but nah, he's absolutely right about that.
Us realized Control was a response to his peers trying to shit on him for being named the hottest MC of that year. J. Cole was always incredibly competitive. He has always wanted to be the best rapper and make the best albums. This competitive spirit is what led him to dropping an album on the same day as Kanye West.
I'm a competitor, so I didn't feel good if they passed back the test and somebody got a 95 and I got an 85. I'm gonna feel away. It's like that with rap too. It's the same thing. I'm a natural competitor, so.
That same spirit now applied to Kendrick too, and from then on he would start taking shots to prove he was the best.
Because I think I was so competitive, I don't know.
My thing is is I think a lot of us, we take this, and I understand we all say hip hop is a sport, but we take this to another level. I'm not gonna lie. And it might sound like I'm contradicting myself, because on some I'll be honest with you, some days I might contradict myself, because when it comes to hip hop, it's one of those type of things where I want people to work together, but then I don't want people to work together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to see J. Cole, the Big 3 album. I would love to see that album. But then you think about it. Will Kendrick want to see that album? Will J. Cole? Drake? No, they won't. And I think that that's the fan in me, where fans be wanting artists to do things that artists don't even want to do. And that's unfair. We be wanting these things from these artists. And I think artists take this stuff real seriously. We take it as it's just music. They take it as real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them, not all of them.
How they would feel, you have to talk to them. But I know for myself, I was so competitive early on that, like, even though we were all friends, I would say we were all friends and friendly. Why would I work out with this nigga? Like, I'm trying to destroy this nigga, you know what I mean? Like, and that was kind of my mentality.
But competing with Kendrick wasn't going to be easy. Kendrick had only released one album, but it was already being treated as a classic. Like I said earlier, he had dreamed of winning Best New Artist of the Grammys, but that dream didn't come true.
because I was telling my management and telling the label, like, yo, I have to beat the Grammy deadline. Like, I gotta do it. My album came out like 2 days before the Grammy deadline, and that's because I knew, like, yo, I got a shot.
And you're up tonight for?
And you know the crazy thing is, every artist, and I say this, every artist wants a Grammy. Because that is like winning a ring. That's like winning a championship. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about the Grammys. I don't care what you hip hop historians say. The Grammy is like winning a championship. I'm telling you. An artist wins a Grammy, he can always have that on his resume as leverage against anything. I'm talking like anything. He could literally say, if he applied for a movie role, he could say, yeah, I got a Grammy. That is a staple. Y'all hate to hear it, but it's the truth. It is. It carries a lot of weight. Maybe to hip hop heads, because we all know how the Grammys treated hip hop back in the day, but hip hop has transformed the Grammys to this day. And I think that Kendrick Lamar is going to be the first rapper in a long time to win Album of the Year with GNX. I think GNX is going to win Album of the Year. I think that that's going to win Album of the Year, not Hip Hop Album of the Year, but Album of the Year.
Best new artist sounds incredible, unbelievable, but best new artist. That was a good feeling. I ain't win though, so I need that feeling again. Then I need the victory.
His second album, Born Sinner, performed well and had bigger radio hits like Power Trip and Crooked Smile. Before he put it out, he spoke in an interview about wanting to take the award.
Man, I tell you one thing. Drake and J. Cole are real friends. Listen, you go to the store with me and buy all my albums up. I don't know how how is that not like payola? buying streams if you buy your album. I don't understand. I just think that that's the same thing in my opinion. But they definitely friends.
For Album of the Year at the Grammys, not just Rap Album of the Year. I'm going for Album of the Year. I'm trying to compete with the white people. Unfortunately, he was only nominated for...
I hate when artists do that too. I hate when they do that. Like, bro, you don't even have to mention that. You are artist. You're looked at as different from everybody else, whether you competing with white people or not. You are. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep going.
Best rap performance, and he lost. When looking back at his second album, he had to sit and be honest with himself. He had once again made compromises to keep the momentum going. But after seeing what Kendrick's integrity had earned him, and after the lessons learned from his past two projects, Cole finally broke the cycle. With Forest Hills Drive, he delivered an album with no features, no singles, and no compromises. He finally did it in his own way, and it worked.
I got rid of all old pressures that people think is the right way. What's the single? Who's on the album? That's old. I had to literally come to grips with this album might not sell. It was a scary thing for me. It didn't sell. I came to terms with that already. It sold? You serious?
And I remember because somebody at Rock Nation was like, what do y'all think, y'all Beyonce or something? Like, it ain't never gonna work, you know?
The album was celebrated by fans and critics alike. It felt like redemption, but just...
I don't know. Sometimes I think these these dudes be embellishing these stories. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But Forest Hill Drive, if I had to say it was a classic, I'll give it to him. That definitely was a good album.
3 months later, Kendrick returned with To Pimp a Butterfly. J. Cole had finally delivered his magnum opus, but Kendrick delivered something even bigger. The album wasn't just great, it was considered an all-time classic from the start.
Rolling Stone magazine called our next guest the greatest rapper of his generation.
You got most Grammy nominations for a rapper in a year. You almost had the same amount of nominations as Michael Jackson for Thriller.
The legend.
With 11 Grammy nominations, Kendrick swept every rap category. J. Cole received just 2 nominations and lost both to Kendrick. It was devastating. After this, he began saying the Grammys didn't matter. He realized maybe he wasn't meant to win, but this realization doesn't come without pain.
It's one thing I could say that people gotta understand. The greatest group band of all time, in my opinion. Now, in my opinion, the greatest band of all time. Greatest band of all time is Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin, even though people say they stole stuff, blah, 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 blah. Led Zeppelin is the greatest band of all time. They never won a Grammy. Not one. Never won a Grammy. So I can understand frustration, but when J. Cole says stuff like the Grammys don't matter, and then your whole first 2 albums you were pushing to get a Grammy, now you're saying they don't matter. I don't know about that. I don't know if the Grammys don't matter because you didn't win, or they don't matter because you feel as though that they just don't matter in the grand scheme of things. I just don't believe that. There's so many artists, because I know a lot of y'all hip hopsters always talk about the Grammys, but then y'all neglect to talk about how many black artists. Actually, there's the most Grammys are given to black artists. Y'all saying the Grammys don't matter, but the most Grammys ever given out was to a black artist. That's Beyonce. And I think the second person is Jay-Z. Then it's Kanye West and Kendrick. Has the most Grammys. I think Michael Jackson's up there too. But for you to say that the Grammys don't matter and it doesn't do anything for black people, and all the Grammys or most of the Grammys is given in history is to black people, it just doesn't make sense. I understand overall maybe there's more artists, if you count them individually, there's more white artists with Grammys. But the Grammys is not just for white artists. The Grammys are artists that are all over the world win Grammys. It's not just for white artists. And a lot of y'all be saying these things and I just be laughing like, what are you talking about? I understand, but at the same time, y'all don't be being honest about it. Like, come on. For the last 10 years, the Grammy's been all hip hop. To be honest with you. But let's keep going.
To desire something your whole life and not be able to get it really hurts.
Had I won it early on, I think it would have validated all of those feelings I had for it. Of like, oh man, and maybe it would have felt like a championship at that point. I'm not sure. Yeah. The fact that it didn't happen, and then it didn't happen, and then it didn't happen. First, there was the same feeling of like, wait, why they not rocking with me, boom, boom, boom. And then after time, and like, it becomes clear that it's like, oh, wait a minute, like those things weren't for you.
From tweets and interviews, he would
about that, J. Cole. Nah, see, here's the thing, man. You gotta understand something. Allen Iverson never won a championship. Charles Barkley never won a championship, and these are all-time greats. They're considered some of the greatest players of all time. When you are in between it's you, Kendrick, and Drake. Nine times out of 10, the most artistic one is gonna win most of the awards, and that's Kendrick. The one that is pop is going to win some of the awards, and that's Drake. And then you fall by the wayside. You're not as artistic as Kendrick. You could be, but you're not. And you're not as pop as Drake. You could be, but you're not. So you're gonna fall on that side where you don't win nothing. And I hate to say it, but that's just what it is. But that doesn't take anything away from your ability. It doesn't. You'll get one day though. I believe you will.
He is happy he didn't win any Grammys, but his continued references to it suggest otherwise.
So Cole spoke with GQ extensively about not winning a Grammy. He said, I'm not supposed to have a Grammy, at least not right now, and maybe never. And if that happens, that's just how it was supposed to be.
By the time J. Cole truly embraced his own authenticity, Kendrick was miles ahead. When he later released For Your Eyes Only, people criticized it for taking from To Pimp a Butterfly's blueprint. Meanwhile, Kendrick elevates it again with Damn, adding another possible classic to his name, one that also became his most commercially successful. Now Kendrick both had critical acclaim and chart dominance. Cole couldn't compete on either front. While he was playing catch-up to Kendrick, Kendrick was focused on beating Drake. But then Kendrick Lamar went quiet. And in 2019, J. Cole picked up his pen again. He began killing features, sharpening his skills, and reminding everyone what he could do. For years, he delivered high-quality verses. He was back, hungrier than ever. And just when it seemed like he was catching up, Kendrick teased his return, saying he was coming to smoke on everybody's top 5, which raised all our expectations. J. Cole was rapping at his best and Kendrick was coming back. But when Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers dropped, it wasn't the explosive return people anticipated. It was personal, introspective, and polarizing. For the first time, there were a lot of people that called the Kendrick album a disappointment. He looked...
I could never understand y'all saying that album was a disappointment. That album is a certified classic in my opinion. I'll be honest with y'all, I listened to that album the most out of all his albums ever. I listened to the album the most. I'm not saying that it's better than all of them, but I definitely listened to the album the most. That album is phenomenal. I don't know. Some of y'all, I think that y'all wanted him to move worlds or something. I don't know, but to me, that album is phenomenal.
vulnerable while J. Cole was finally hitting his stride. People began to reshuffle their big three rankings. I saw a lot of people putting J. Cole above Kendrick and Drake.
Kendrick talking shit to everybody in the world but a nigga named Jermaine. My rapper order, it has to change.
J. Cole is number one in that rapper order.
It has to. It has to.
He also started throwing subliminals again, just like he did at the start.
Bruh, I told y'all I could not find that clip where they were talking crazy. That's the clip right there. They were bruh. Oh, Kendrick don't want no smoke with J. Cole. Not no nigga named Jermaine. He don't want no smoke. Nah, Kendrick, nah. Yo, they were going crazy. I'm talking like, man, listen, man. Switch up happened like that, boy. That switch up was crazy.
Of his career, his drive to be the best was...
J. Cole is number one in that rapper order.
It has to. It has to.
He also started throwing subliminals again, just like he did at the start of his career. His drive to be the best was fueled by feeling like he was being overlooked his whole career. Yes, he built his own path, but he still wanted the respect from the game as the best. He kept mentioning people putting him number 3 behind Drake and Kendrick because it really bothered him. The 2 Grammys he's won were features for other people's songs. His only number 1 on Billboard was a feature with Drake. He wants to achieve those things himself, with his own singles and his own albums.
I'm cool. I almost feel better not having my first number 1 be off of Drake alley-oop. You know what I mean? Like, I love Drake, and I love that I'm a part of that moment with him with Michael Jackson, but it's like, bro, it's like getting a Grammy with 21. It's like, bro, I love that for you. Yeah. Shit, I almost don't, I want y'all to keep me right where y'all have me. You know what I mean? Grammy list.
Man, I'll tell you one thing. I would hate to do an interview with Lil Yachty. Because, it's one thing I can't stand is talking to people when they're on their phone. If you on your phone and you talking to me, I just stop talking. I hate that with a passion. I hate that with a passion. That you will be on your phone texting or talk and then acting as if like you talking to me. Oh, I can multitask. Nah. Ain't no multitasking here. I want your undivided attention. That's why when I talk to girls and they talk on their phone, and you're on their phone and I'm talking to them, I just stop talking. They be like, why you stop? Because I don't want to talk to you while you're on your phone. I want you to look me in my face. I want to engage into the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga, don't throw me no sympathy Grammys, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want none of that.
For a while, it looked like he was taking the spot from Kendrick, until he hopped on first-person shooter with Drake.
Now, when